Hey guys, I'm Jaydeep here. Today we will be starting with the new series of machine learning. So let's see what the machine learning is. Okay, so the very basic idea for the machine learning, which we can have as a mental image, is that it's something which converts the information to the knowledge, right? So from information we are deriving the knowledge. So what this basically means is that in today's world we have a huge amount of data, right? So data is not a problem, which was a few decades back, right? Now the machine learning helps us to find the pattern inside those data, right? So what does it exactly means is that suppose you are watching YouTube videos, right? So there will be some pattern in terms of how the videos you watch, right? Suppose you start with the comedy videos, then it's more likely that the next video which you will be watching will be comedy again, right? Or there will be some other patterns, right? Like you are watching the action movies or the clips of the action films, then it will suggest you the superhero films, okay, the clips for the superhero films, which also includes the action. So these are the some of the patterns which can be detected from the data which YouTube has learned from tremendous amount of people, right? So based on that it will suggest some pattern for you also. Now as we know, in YouTube we have voice search, okay, right? Most of the time we just say the things we which want to search, right, instead of typing. Now this is where the ML comes in. You can never write an algo which can identify the various type of pitch of sound, okay. Now for even a single letter, say T, there will be different pronunciations based on the regions and the culture of the peoples, right? So it can never be possible for algorithm to learn something based on the profound maths only. Like you can't say this the to identify the single word T, the frequency of the sound should be this and this, right? The pitch should be this and this, okay. This will, it will be very cumbersome and it will be too much uh, fixed or the very rigid structure in order to algorithm to understand the words, and which may not be the correct always, right? The next one is the recommendations, right? So what you have seen till now, based on that YouTube will recommend you, right? Suppose if you have watched multiple movie reviews, so automatically it will suggest few more popular movie reviews regarding the same channel or the same genre of movies, right? So this is the one thing. Also the comments. Now in we know YouTube blocks the offensive comments, but in order to learn what is the offensive, YouTube uses the ML to understand what is the offensive, right? Otherwise how the machine would know that which word is an offensive word, or which word is an indication for the insult, right? Or the hurting emotions of other, right? So in order to learn that, we need the machine learning, right? Also, so this is what we see in our usual days. Also we most of the time see that for a particular video YouTube might said this is what is popular in your area, right? Sometimes the recommendations are based on the area. So if you know a little bit, so this can be obtained using the clustering in the machine learning, right? You can use the clustering algorithms for to identify pitches. You can use the NLP to understand whether the comment is offensive or not. You can again use the NLP, right? So these are the some of the things. But we know that machine can never understand what the human language is, right? The very fact that we can speak is the biggest achievement that we had as a human has ever achieved, right? So that's why we made such a huge progress in a such a short span, right? So the very basic thing, voice or the communication can't be understood by the machine. So this is where the math comes in, right? So we know that we have learned the algebra, probability, and the calculus, right? So we never thought of much about them because we never came across such a rigorous applications of them in our studies, right? It's fine that we have studied these topics and got the grades, that's fine, but we never saw much of a practical applications, right? like in trigonometry at least we can understand what could be the practical applications, but algebra or the calculus or the probability are something which we just study, but we never understood how it can be applied in your real life. Okay, and to be honest with you, algebra is the most underrated thing in the universe. Okay, you will soon understand why this is, right? So please do that, keep thing in mind, and please don't get intimidated by the math, because even few years back I was mathematically challenged, but I will take care that I will clear your basics before using the concepts, or either I will tell you the resources from which you can learn the topic in pretty much depth. Okay, now this is what general machine learning is, but it's further divided into domain specific advancements, like you use the natural language processing whenever the applications are related to the uh, processing of voice or understanding the text, etc., right? So their natural language processing comes in. Now there is a convolutional neural network, which is a part of a image processing, right? In order to process the image you use something called as CNN. So my final year project was based on this, where we had developed an application, which, or rather the extension in Chrome, which blurs the adult content. Okay, so this was for the purpose of children's. Okay, what might happen is that sometimes we give children to a website to browse, or just give phone to them, so that they might be needed it for to gain some information or to study. But what happens is that most of the time we the children might came across an adult content which is not appropriate for their age, right? So we had made an extension which uses the CNN, convolutional neural network, and it identifies whether the given ad or the image for that ad is an adult or not, and if it is, it will blur that image. Okay, so this was the one of the very interesting application that I had come across in my final year. Also there is something called as RNN. So RNN is basically works on the sequences, okay, or the series, right? The very famous application of RNN is for the translation from one language to another. So this is what in general the machine learning is. So you now you can understand that we have seen such a numerous applications in of ML in our day-to-day life, is that you can not even think your daily life without the ML. Directly or indirectly, it will always be there, and it's just that starting. We will see more of an ML in our upcoming future. So let's see in the next upcoming videos how, what are the basic terminologies, what are the basic algorithms, what are the further enhancements or the advancements in the ML. Okay, so if you find this useful, please subscribe, and take care of your time and take care of yourself. Okay.